What's up, everybody? My name is Kason. Welcome back to the WDL. We had a week off, but now we are ready to get back into some matches, and I'm really excited for it. This is the Season 3, Week 8 video for the Leonis division, and we've only got 2 weeks remaining, including this video before the playoffs and Toilet Bowl start. And this is how it looks in the standings before we jump into these fights. So we have Sandrooster, coach of Unicorn Gunfight, in first place, alongside Zhalk of Boco buddies. Both teams have 18 points. Sandrooster has the head-to-head tiebreaker at the moment. They both have a playoff spot clinched. Again, top 5 make playoffs. MaechenX of Shoometal Alchemists currently with 16 points. Only needs, I believe, 1 more point to technically clinch a playoff spot. So if he gets a single game win this week, he will be in the playoffs. JAYBLACK of Chronic Fatigue and King Delita of Arknights both with 13 points, trying to stay in that top 5, trying to move on up. Highwind of Tears for Spears and AllSmokedUp of Trap Queens both with 10 points. Really needing to win out to have any sort of chance of making the playoffs, most likely. JohnnyB of Disposable Heroes with 9 points. Don't count him out just yet. Not out of the playoffs. If they were to win the next 2 weeks, would have a chance. And Willie Goats of the Corpse Brigade, I think, still even technically has a chance if he wins this week and next week as well. Taiyo of Fire Force, unfortunately, will be in the Toilet Bowl, but he has some of the most entertaining series that we have in the WDL. So that should be a good time regardless. Before we jump into the matches, actually, I just wanted to give a huge shout out to the YouTube memberships. Special shout out to 2 of our brand newest YouTube members, Guesswork and Coppola, our very own Coppola in the WDL. You guys are all amazing. Thank you so much to all of these people. You guys are seriously wonderful. Thank you for all your support. It just really means the world to me. That being said, let's jump into the matches. Let's check them out. Game 1 of this Leonis Division Series, we've got Highwind, coach of Tears for Spears, versus AllSmokedUp, coach of Trap Queens. A couple of teams looking to try and push for that playoff spot. We've got Spirit of Wazette coming out from Glaciella, Flagbearer on turn 1 here, alongside her Wind partner in crime, Joom, popping the Vacuum Veil buff, getting her hate online, and walking forward. On the other side here, we've got Surges going Treasures Hunter's Fortune, the agility and luck buff on the whole team, with Deep Fortification coming out from Astrius, so a couple of water units paired with that ice unit as well. And Runic Blade coming out from the Celis. So basically, both tanks are ready to go here. Curious to see how this will work out. Sweet support coming out. Little Leo, the Bold TMR, getting agility up on the entire party, coming out from the Miche. And he's only 30 cost in our format, but he can put down some damage here. As Glaciella is going to walk forward here. Wind Blessing coming out from the Joom, so she is ready to go. And she's actually got decent piercing stats, and I think about 15,000 health to boot. As the Courage comes online for Astrius. And he's ready to rock and roll. Sharp Spear Resolute comes out from the Surges. He's going to get his buffs online. And Celis should be able to finally find some damage here. Magic Burst going to come out, 1,500 damage. Going to drop that AoE resist on the Joom as well, which is very, very nice to see. If you are on the side of AllSmokedUp, Miche is actually out of range of damage, and so is Glaciella. Neither one is going to buff. Stormwind Ren going to come out, drop the agility and the reaction block rate on both Surges and Celis. But what can Astrius get done? Cross destruction on both units, one-shots the Miche with the damage up node. 13,999 is absolutely insane. Armor Piercer coming up from the Surges, though, doing decent damage onto the tank here. AllSmokedUp with a very good 3v2 edge here. And speaking of edge, there's an elegant spinning one coming out from Celis here. 1,800 damage coming out from her. Joom tanking up fairly decently. Has taken damage from all 3 units. Triple cross. A nice AoE onto Surges and Celis here. Storm and Ren going to find a nice little wind chain. But even the 30 cost Surges standing tall here. Tiger Maw comes out from the Astrius, is going to knock down the Joom. And Glaciella is in a 1v3 here for Highwind. AllSmokedUp, can he win this? Gets the reflex though. Vacuum Slash, not sure how much damage it would have done. The elemental advantage might have helped out here. Can she find an AoE? Yes, she can. Triple cross on all 3. Takes out the Surges. Celis is low, but Astrius is still alive. However, I think his courage got dispelled, which is pretty massive if you are the Astrius. And she's going to reflex again. 2 reflexes in a row. Rough to see if you are AllSmokedUp here. And Glaciella is going to be able to find another AoE. Going to find the double kill. And Glaciella, with the help of a couple of reflexes, a little bit of luck on her side, finds the 3v1. That is a game 1 victory for Tears for Spears. Game 2 of this series, can the Trap Queens bring it to a game 3? A little bit of unluckiness on their side last time. But here we go. Spirit of Wazette coming up from the Glaciella Flagbearer again. She's got her barrier online. That nice AoE buff for the party. And we should see a pretty similar turn rotation coming out from Highwind. It looks like switched the sides of the field here, though, as AllSmokedUp kept it the same, thinking that he might have won the last fight if things had gone a little differently. Gets that HP Absorb online for the Astraeus, Runic Blade online for the Celis. So Miech really shouldn't do much of anything in this fight. He didn't even get an opportunity to attack last time, but even if he does, should just get soaked up by the Celis as the Deceptive Mist buff comes out from Glaciella. I missed that in game number 1, but that is Resoul's TMR. Very nice, giving some agility and AoE resist up. Cross Destruction comes out from the Astraeus, is going to drop the defense onto Joom and also give him some slash tech piercing. So next time he hits, it's going to hit very hard. The Surges lands the slow onto Joom, though. That could be pretty nice to try and get some chaining here. As Magic Burst comes out from the Celis on 2 different units here. And Glaciella, what can she get done? Triple Cross with her brand new 140 this week. She is looking to hard carry. She did work in that first fight. Unfailing Void Blade comes out for about 5,200. I think if you're all smoked up, you would have liked to see the Limit Break come out so that he has the follow-up attack, but this still looks pretty decent for them, as this should get soaked up by Celis. Abyssal Mire. No, I'm sorry, did her Runic Blade fade away? That might have... I'm not entirely sure there. It might have faded due to turns? Valkyrie Burst comes out from Glaciella Flagbearer, though, finds the AoE, kills the Surges. And this is looking actually pretty rough here for all smoked up. Magic Burst comes down, drops the AoE resist on the entire party. But can Astraeus follow up? I don't know. Stormwind Wren is going to come out from Joom, dealing good damage, dropping that agility, and Miech might be able to finish this off here. That is a flare onto Astraeus, so Celis doesn't even have hate anymore. The hard carry is down for the count, and this should be a 2-0 win for Highwind and Tears for Spears. So guys, I just wanted to add in one little note here. The Runic actually did not fade away. Abyssal Mire is a non-reflectable spell, so maybe a smart tech coming out from Highwind maybe turned some skills off or made sure to try and prioritize that. Regardless, Miech putting in some work here with a non-reflectable spell means Celis could not soak that up. Very well played by Highwind. Game 1 of Taiyo's Fire Force versus Zhalk's Boco buddies, and Taiyo has yet to pick up a series win this season, but he's been super competitive in a lot of them. Zhalk, however, has been pretty dominant all season, with his only series loss being to Sandrooster, and he's running a team he has ran a handful of times before. It looks like Grace is going to pop an AoE resist buff as the Scintilla, the Mass Immunity and Waiting buff coming out from Sephiroth on turn 1. Commune with Esper's coming out from the Terra, and this is the strategy we've seen before from Taiyo. It is some Esper tech. It is really cool to see. We'll see if it works out for him. Rain typically does have a ton of AoE resist as he tanks up that taunting spell very well. He popped the Sweetheart Eldiro TMR to give himself some unit resist as well, and with Protect, he should be able to mitigate some of this damage. Protect actually a pretty smart move. I think Sephiroth cannot disable Protect unless he has used his Soldier sub-job ability. I think Hazard Break might do that, but regardless, Protect can be fairly useful against Sephiroth here. So here comes Elshra starting a channel spell. What is it going to be? Meltdown Plus actually doing 3,500 to Sephiroth is not too bad. It is a Quicken on the Rain. This is actually nice for Taiyo to try and get Rain out in front, get him away from the rest of the party so that nobody else catches an AoE. Shining Nova is going to come down on a Little Leela. Honestly, 4,500 damage, not too bad. Dropping the fire attack resistance as well. And this is a shell from the Grace. I'm sure Zhalk would have appreciated catching that before the magic attack, but that is okay. Bioblade onto Rain doesn't do a whole lot, and the poison does not land crucially, but oh no. Rain only starting the fight with 5 hate. It looks like he is completely out of it, which means Octaslash is going to hit Terra, and now she is basically dead here. This is going to be really rough for Taiyo. If Rain had more hate, this might have worked out, but he never got the opportunity to pop Astral Guard, which means he doesn't have a lot. Bamboo Splitter is 5,500 damage, pretty solid, but unless Elshra can go for a massive heal here, which I anticipate she's going to go for a Quicken again. No, it is a heal. Curiga comes off. Okay, that's a decent heal, but I think... Sephiroth only has 4 AP. That means Terra's going to live another hit. Hold on a second. Taiyo might be in an okay spot here. If they can get rid of this tank before Grace can heal up, she is going to go right after Little Leela, though. The taunting spell comes out from Little Leela. She does not manage to kill Terra, which could be pretty huge for Taiyo, but the Curiga's going to land. That is a massive heal and increasing AoE resist as if it wasn't high enough already, but this is the tech we've seen from Taiyo a handful of times. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody use this Esper in a fight, and this is like the 3rd time we've seen Taiyo use it. Absolutely love seeing it. It is Phoenix, going to be a huge heal, also giving regen to Terra. And she might just be able to live a little longer here. With the regen, she's back up to 9,000 health. Bamboo Splitter is enough to take out the Little Leela, and this looks okay for Taiyo at the moment. Sephiroth with only 22 IP, what can he get done? He has enough for Hell's Gate. That is absolutely nuts. He finds a double kill even with only 20 AP being used. Sephiroth is just built different, man. The Rain is going to go for the standard attack onto Sephiroth, and as much as I thought this fight was pretty hyped for a while, it looks like it is probably over. Sephiroth with its standard attack doing almost 4k. The full life is going to bring Leela back to life, and this is going to end up looking very one-sided. I don't know if it actually was this one-sided, but it looks this way to end the fight. Grace is going to start walking forward. I imagine just going to go for a buff. Maybe she'll go for damage. Rain going to go for Flaming Impact. Actually gets dodged by the Sephiroth. Rain, not the most accurate unit in the world. Shell is going to come up on the little Leela, and Sephiroth should be able to clean this up. Shifting Strike will do 4,300. Rain very weak to strike damage. That is a game 1 victory for the Boco buddies. Into game number 2 here, Taiyo of Fire Force keeping with the same squad. Looking at Rain, Terra, and Elshra. So maybe just positioning change, hoping that will make the difference. It looked like he might have had a chance early in the fight last time. Boon of the Lion comes out from the Grace. Sephiroth is going to go with his Veil of Woe. He's got AP, he's got his Barrier, and this is that commune with Espers. And I think Taiyo, what he's trying to do is stay a little further away from the other side as to get that Esper gauge basically full before he ever hits the other team. Heart of Flutter coming out from the little Leela. That Sweetheart Eldir team are so good on tanks. And you could tell how many good PvP players we have in our league. You can see these TMRs like this one that Rain is just using, the same as Leela. There are certain ones that are so good in PvP, and people know how to use them. Here comes Sephiroth. He is actually not going to do another buff, interestingly enough. So it looks like Zhalk turning off some of the skills for Sephiroth here. Interesting. So I believe that was the Courage buff from Terra. I actually didn't quite catch it. I was too busy yapping. But here comes Elshra. She's going to start channeling a spell here. I imagine this will be a quicken. We'll see. Sephiroth going to go Octaslash. This is so good for Taiyo. Rain is going to tank this quite well, if I imagine. 1742. His AoE resist is incredible. But with the one smart move coming out from Zhalk, last fight he limit breaked and basically had no AP. Now Sephiroth has plenty. He still has 80 AP. So even though the limit break goes off on Rain, which is great because he can't nullify the Courage on Terra, this could be still tricky. But Hellfire comes out. This is the Ifrit Esper. I haven't seen this in a very long time, but very, very cool for Taiyo. I imagine this probably reduces fire resistance on the other team by quite a bit. How much damage is going to do? Not a whole lot, but the area effect, this is like the main reason of using Esper. If you guys don't know, because Esper is just such a small thing in PvP, this can really increase damage that your team tends to do. We'll see if this actually pays off, though. How much does Crescent Riot Blade do? 3,200 and 3,000. I think that's actually quite a bit more than it would have done without the field effect, but Hell's Gate's going to come through, 7,200 damage. Fortunately for Taiyo, can't get rid of that Courage. I think Terra used it on turn 2. Again, I didn't catch that buff. We'll see. This might be a Kiriga coming out from Elshra. But what does Leela go for? She's going to go for a Silence Blade, but the Silence lands, and no, it wasn't Courage. Maybe it was like the Amnilus TMR or something. I'm not really sure what Terra went for turn 2, but it must not have been Courage. At this point, this is going to be pretty tough for Taiyo to overcome, I think. Rain will slowly be running out of hate if he's not out already. He's going to go for the Flaming Impact. Does he land a slow? No, he doesn't. Looks like the status effect resistance is on point for Zhalk, as Demon Purger is just going to heal up Sephiroth. And man, this team for Zhalk is so damn scary. Like I said, all season, only one team has been able to beat him up to this point. I don't think Elshra has full life in her kit, which means this should be just a matter of time, as I don't expect Rain has the damage to try and eat through any of these units, especially with a Grace doing a Kiriga that buffs AoE resist on top of it. Rain with 75 AP, though, is still going to try his best, and he says, hey, you know what? I'll at least pop the limit break, make shit look cool, even if I'm going to go down. Did quite a bit of damage, over 5k to the little Leela, dropped the fire attack resistance. But Grace is going to say, hey, no worries, I'll just heal you right up to full again. And this fight might stall out a little bit as I look at this. Elshra might get another heal off. Can Sephiroth kill him in time? Yes, he can. He just cuts him in half as if he was Aerith. And here comes the Kurita, comes out. It misses. And in this 3v1, Zhalk is going to take care of it. My goodness, Taunting Spell did 8,400 damage from Leela. That's absolutely nuts. But that is a game 2 victory for Zhalk and the Boco buddies. Got Willy Goats, coach of the Corpse Brigade, versus King Delita, coach of Arknights. King Delita trying to make the playoffs. He was not able to in Season 2, but he's in pretty decent position to do so. If he were to win against Willy Goats, it would only enhance those chances. Willy Goats, I don't think has a chance to make it, but he has a chance to play spoiler, and he is running a very, very cool team here. I just noticed this is the full FF7 squad. I absolutely love it. Willy Goats is one of my favorite players to watch because he just brings out such cool team comps. FF7 versus Sottily. Naya, and Dario. So very, very interesting here. We'll see how this works out. What is Barrett going to go for? He's going to go for the aim fire buff, trying to get some effect range up. Will he be able to tank if he's in the back, though? Interesting turn order here coming out. I wonder if that's how Willie wanted to do this. Revitalize came out for turn 1 for Tifa. She also goes unparalleled strength, so she's got tons of AP. She'll be ready to do damage. Will she get anything done, though? I think that was Fight Like a Pirate. That is the new Ferris TMR, if I caught that correctly. Max HP up, along with some haste on Sodali. Aerogo Blade Life Run, excuse me, coming out from Dario, doing almost 5k to Yuffie, though, is very impressive from the MR tank, as he's going to catch a Reflect. That will really only matter if Aerith goes into attack mode, which I don't anticipate here. Here comes the Barrett. What does he go for? Steel Skin Plus. This is a pretty crucial buff for him to try and have any sort of chance. It gives him a lot of really good things. Holy Prayer is going to top up Tifa, though, so it's like that damage never even happened. Star Shower is going to come out. A nice little chain onto the Dario, but nobody's really going to be able to chain up with it, unfortunately. Naya's going to walk forward. She's out of buffs. She has really nothing left to do. Aeroga is going to come out again, remove any sort of buffs that Tifa had, and remove any debuffs Dario had, but Indoctrination's enough to take out the Tifa. And this is looking rough. Aerith is a very good unit, but she does not have full life in her kit. So this is going to be a 3v2 for the rest of the fight here. Sodali's going to go next. Fight Like a Pirate again. Just going to re-enable that TMR again. Aerith, can she get anything done? It looks like she's going into offense here. I shouldn't be surprised coming out from Willie Goats as Focus Shot gets rid of the haste. Procs the slow. Oh no, it's a slow coming out from Aerith. You didn't even need it. Already caught the slow from Barrett. That is a little bit of redundancy here, unfortunately. If Aerith could have went for damage, maybe they would have had a chance here. It's going to be tough to overcome this, as Kiriga is going to come out from Naya, fully heal up the squad. And I just don't know how you're going to do enough damage to get through this team. If Aerith isn't going for damage and only going for slow and healing, I don't think Barrett has enough to get through everything here. Aerith is going to top up the squad. Taunting Blade's going to come out just for a tiny bit of damage, but that means Dario has all the hate in the world that he could ever need. Sodali's going to walk forward. Indoctrination is enough to one-shot the Aerith. He does his best Sephiroth impression here. And in this 3v1 advantage, it looks like King Delita should be able to take this game 1 victory. What does Naya go for? She goes into offensive stats, though. Holy's going to do about 2,300 damage. And Barrett, at least try and make it look cool. Fire in the hole. Almost one-shot Sodali. 9.4k is actually really impressive. But it's going to be too little too late. Naya's going to be able to probably fuel him to full. Dario, the tank, is basically just sitting still in the back line. He doesn't have a way to get into the fight. His bro Sodali is in the way, unfortunately. Sodali's going to go with the limit break and try and put the moves onto Barrett. Here it comes. Does he manage to pull it off? He managed to pull off the charm. So Barrett isn't going to do any sort of damage to the other squad. He's just going to give some handshakes, maybe some bro hugs to the other side. Dario's going to try and close this off with a Draining Seal, though. Actually procs the Courage, which will get rid of the charm. But unfortunately, with 1 health on Barrett's side, just going to be too little too late. Kiriga heals everybody up to full. Naya, can you claim a kill here? Can she claim a kill? I think there's only been maybe 1 kill from Naya in the WDL ever. And that is a kill right here coming out from her. GG, well played. Heading into game number 2 here with the Arknights up 1-0. Does Willie Goats have any sort of spice to turn this around? He's going with a team that we've seen before. It is Skahal, Aerith, and Severo, which is a very strong magical comp. On the other side for King Delita, though, running Reagan, also running Naya, and the McLeod. I don't think we've seen this team coming out from him before. Very, very cool to see, though, as the Ferris TMR comes out from Reagan, so we know that King Delita is starting to like that TMR quite a bit. Curious to see if he has the King Bradley TMR. I actually don't know if he does or if he's just opting for this. But very, very cool to see either way. Sweet support comes out from the Naya. And the agility and magic buff coming out from Severo. As Reagan is ready to go. He's got his courage. He's got haste. He's got everything that he could basically ever need. And this answers my question. The momentum buff comes out from a cloud. So double haste TMRs coming out from King Delita. I think that's a very smart way to go about it. Here comes Skahal. What does he have in store? I imagine this should be a Thundaga. How much damage does it do? 9,000 and dropping the lightning attack resist. That means, actually with the heal back, Naya should not be able to go for a heal here, I don't think. But this might be a reflect. And if it is, this could be very dangerous for Willie. Sonic Octostrike Blade should probably bring Skahal down to basically no health. He will have his courage online. And it's Shell. It's not reflect. So now the question is, Can Skahal do enough damage to kill this Reagan? He might have enough in the tank here. Aerith should be able to heal Skahal to full, or at least past the threshold. And Skahal should be doing enough damage considering that Severo just did about 3,500, I believe. Skahal might even be able to find an AoE here. Divine Thunder Summon on both Reagan and the McLeod. And this is looking pretty decent for Willy Goats here. It's not enough to kill the Reagan, though. I would have thought that Thundergut Disposer would have done enough to kill, but didn't opt for it, went for the limit break. Maybe it wouldn't have enough with the shell, but regardless, Skahal's going to drop. He does have re-raise online, though, from Aerith earlier, I believe. It might have been Zombie TMR. I believe it was from Aerith. But this is going to be tough to overcome because now Naya's going to full heal the other team. Kiriga comes out. Everybody's pretty much fully healthy. Reagan doesn't have 100%, but now this Immortal Skahal does have his health back online. The problem, though, is Severo never went for his Courage ability, which means he's going to drop in one hit. But he has re-raise also. I apparently missed before. The Aerith re-raise and the Zombie TMR came out. That is what happened here, but Mountain Dive's going to come out from Reagan, which means that double kill is in the cards, and this should be a Game 2 victory for King Delita and the Arc Knights. Sweet support coming out on the entire party, getting the agility up. That's not really going to matter. Aerith, unless you have a massive hit coming out, which I don't anticipate, yeah, you're not even going to get the opportunity to. That is a 2-0 series victory for King Delita and the Arc Knights. Very well played. All right, guys, we've got JohnnyB, coach of Disposable Heroes, versus JAYBLACK of Chronic Fatigue. If JAYBLACK wins, he has a chance to clinch a playoff spot this week. JohnnyB looking to keep his playoff chances alive with a potential win this week. We'll have to see how it goes. And this is an evasion on evasion war here. Evasion skills coming out from the Pissarro with the Yuffie and Mia to back him up. And we've got a very dodgy team from the other side with the Shadow Lynx, Starlight Elena, and Summer Killfae. Brumal Form coming out from the Yuffie, though, means she can dodge guaranteed hits for a few turns. Starry Veil coming out. This is the Moore TMR, trying to block some of those status effects coming out from the other side. So very interesting tech here. Mia is going to walk forward. I've tempered my resolve coming out from the Elena, so she's got her Courage online. Some AoE resisted boot. Indomitable Spirit coming out from Pissarro. He says, hey, I see your Courage. I can do it too. Momentum coming out from the Yuffie. King Bradley TMR, the most commonly used TMR probably in all of the WDL and all of Votive right now. Treasure Hunter's Fortune coming out. The Lock Trustmaster used by Shadow Lynx. And Fleet of Foot, the Katone Trustmaster by Mia to try and get really, really nice movement. And now we should finally be able to get into this fight and see what happens here. Spirit Ward Mastery coming out from the Summer Killfae. What can Starlight Elena do? Yuffie's going to dodge at least one of these hits. She turned and faced her. How many hits does she dodge? We'll have to see here. Out of 3, Mia takes all 3. Yuffie dodges all 3. That is massive for JohnnyB here. Yuffie's going to come out with a Fiery Banishment, but that gets dodged by the Summer Killfae. A little bit surprising, actually, I will say. Grease Lightning comes out from Pissarro, though. Does this hit the Elena? 10,000 damage. I'll say it hits. Removes the haste. Drops her to Courage, but she does have 1 health point left, as Unavailable Pain does about 2,900 to the Pissarro. We can't dodge that skill. Hien comes out from Shadow Lynx, though. She has at least a chance to hit her, but she misses. What does Summer Killfae go? Constricting Cleave on Pissarro gets dodged as well, and so far, JohnnyB is winning this dodge matchup. Surprise attack from Mia. Surprising amount of damage, I'll say. 6,500 onto the Summer Killfae. Yuffie's going to clean it up. Oh my goodness. I believe surprise attack is a guaranteed hit from behind. Crimson Cuts does 7,500. It only needed to deal 1, but JohnnyB is out to a 3v1 lead. Hien comes out from the Shadow Lynx, is going to bring it down to a 1v2. But Shadow Lynx, this MR unit, does she have anything in the bag here? Can she dodge some hits? She dodges 1. Fiery Banishment does not connect from the Yuffie. What can Shadow Lynx get done? Can she hit this Yuffie at all? She cannot. She's going to go for Illusion. That means she has a 0% hit chance. And oh man, that means that it's just a matter of time before JohnnyB wins this fight here. Can he connect? Yes, he can. Fiery Banishment for 8,200 from behind gives increased accuracy. That is a first game win for the Disposable Heroes. Heading into game 2 here, guys. JohnnyB coming off a win last week. Can he make it another this week to keep his playoff hopes alive? Switching it up a little here. Not running the Yuffie, running Esther, Pissarro, and Uni. Very, very interesting as JAYBLACK is going with the water strategy. Perrine, Ramada, and Curry in the back to try and drop some Frostbite. Immortal Spirit's going to come out from the Esther, who does not have her 140 yet. But she's still a solid unit. Keenblade coming up from the Ramada to get that CT up. Work through that turn order. Here comes Curry. Does he try and land a Frostbite? He's going to start channeling a spell. That means it's a Mega Charge. 7,700. It's enough to one-shot the Uni before he can get anything done. And this game 2 is looking better for JAYBLACK compared to the first one. Shadow Dance from Perrine. She's going to have plenty of AP throughout this fight. Sharp Spear Tranquil also gives hate down on the Ramada. Very, very interesting. I didn't even know that did that. Pizarro's going to get his Courage. And here comes Esther, Surging Storm, 6,800. Doesn't matter if you have hate down if you're the only one in range. Does not one-shot the Ramada, though. She tanks it up. Sharpshoot comes out for only 1,700. Starting to whittle down this unit. And what does Perrine have in store for us? Vortex Kick, 1,387. Drops the healing power. That really doesn't matter, though. Can they get through this Lightning unit with this Water team? It's good against the Pizarro, but it's not very good against Esther. Crash Edge only does 699. Interesting, running that Leviathan card, I imagine, in the sub slot, but Esther's going to take out the Ramada, and now all of a sudden this looks pretty good for JohnnyB here. I imagine Grease Lightning is going to one-shot this Curry. I don't know how he could possibly live this. 10.7k is easily going to get rid of him, and I said this looked good for JAYBLACK, but now I'm not so sure. Perrine's going to have her hands full against both of these units. Vortex Kick is going to hit both. Procs the Courage on Pizarro. That's massive. Discontinuum Plus, though, going to debuff her, and he still hangs on with 1 health and some haste. Bolting Impact is about 4,300. She catches just about the same amount of health back on the heal. Esther is basically out of AP. Can Perrine somehow pull this off? Subjugating Fist goes with the guaranteed hit single attack instead of the AoE here. Esther with no AP shouldn't be able to do any damage. Just going to pop Sentinel, actually. So Paladin sub job online for her. Perrine with 31 AP. What can she get done? Subjugating Fist is 1,600. Drops the unit attack resist, which is nice. But can she overcome this Lightning unit? It's going to be very hard. Bolting Impact, 3,700. I mean, if any water unit could do it, it's Perrine. She does have a counter that's preemptive. It's non-elemental. If she can land that, it could do a good chunk of damage. I just literally spoke it into existence. Actually, only 1,200. Does increase her CT, though. Can she lap? That would give her the only chance at winning this, though. I think standard attack for 1,396. She does not lap. Esther's going to go next, and JohnnyB keeps his playoff hopes alive with a 2-0 series victory. GG. Game number 1 of the Unicorn Gunfight versus Shoometal Alchemists. Sandrooster versus MaechenX. A couple of Season 1 veterans here, and a couple of very, very good players. Invitation to Despair immediately coming out from the Sweetheart Eldira. And as I just can't believe it comes out from Kefka as well, trying to get that re-raise online. So this is an interesting fight. We've got a couple of fire units on both sides here, with Sandrooster looking for the Delita, the Sweetheart Eldira, and Mariel versus Roy Mustang, Kefka, and Zazan. Very cool to see here. So Mariel's going to walk forward. What is she going to go for? She's going to go for a height 3 disable. Does it land? It does! It lands on Roy Mustang. Oh man, that is really rough to see. As Flowers Protection, the Aerith Tiamara, very cool tech to see from MaechenX. I wonder if this is to protect against something like an Edward Elric, who has very good multiple attacks that are unit attacks. Kefka does good damage to the Mariel, but it gets actually dodged by the Sweetheart Eldira, as it looks like the evasion is on point here. Crush Accessory Plus going to do about 3,900 to the Zazan here. And with a couple of teams looking to fight at the top of the table, this early disable looking so good for Sandrooster, but the Silence Blade misses Kefka. Blinding Trinity will connect on the other units for MaechenX's side and even land the blind on Kefka. And I will say the RNG or the status effects are very much on Sandrooster's side at the moment. Rejuvenation does not land. I believe that puts them to sleep, if I'm not mistaken. Not 100% sure about that. Crush Accessory Plus does good damage to both Roy and Zazan, though. And you have to imagine this is over for Machen. This is going to be really hard to come back from, as Killer Cross will drop the human resist onto the Mariel, but they cannot seem to connect to this Sweetheart Eldira. The disable finally fades away from Roy, who dodges the Silence Blade from Mariel. So this Mariel is looking to not be very accurate, but I do wonder, you know, with some of those fire cards, a lot of them have agility, luck, evasion, stuff like that. Who knows how much of that Machen is running? We've seen him run dodgy Curry before, so it would not shock me to run dodgy fire units. Roy Mustang now finally gets an opportunity, though. I thought he would have died before his disable even ended, but he gets a moment. True Triple Combustion. He's insanely accurate. He gets a double kill. And what the hell? MaechenX might just win this game. He's now up to a 3v1 advantage. Rejuvenation's going to go up because Kefka's still blind as hell, but he misses that. Roy Mustang's going to get another opportunity because he never got to move. All-Consuming Flame does 10k, procs the Courage on Delita, and this Roy Mustang, who was disabled for 3 turns, just popped the hell off and destroyed basically the entire team of Sandrooster, but Zazan can't connect to the Delita. He is evasive Delita. We've seen this before as the hyper reactivity comes out from Kefka, able to remove the re-raise, killed the Roy. I don't imagine he would have had enough damage to kill Kefka there, but hard to say for sure. Does this connect? Hyperdrive does, and it removes re-raise. That is a game 1 victory for MaechenX and the Shoometal Alchemists. Absolutely crazy fight. I thought that was going to be in Sandrooster's favor, but a heck of a turnaround. And MaechenX, I think with this game win, bumps him up to 17 points. That might just clinch him a playoff spot, but I know he wants to win the series. Let's see what happens. Game number 2 here, we've got Mariel, Jaden Rundle, and Delita. Jaden Rundle, a unit that Sandrooster used to tremendous success in Season 2. And he's bringing it back here. March of the Stag, agility up on the entire party and giving himself some magic as well. Keenblade coming out from the Delita, which means Mariel should go next in the turn order. With 15k, she walks straight forward, gets a taunting spell. So going to bait out the Zazan because he should be able to attack on turn 1 here. The re-raise coming out from Kefka. What is Roy going to go for on his first turn? He goes for Steady Summer Flower, so missile attack resistance and multiple status nullifications. He said, hey, I don't want to deal with those statuses like last time. Magic Blast Plus comes out from Jaden, though. Tons of damage. Like 2/3 of the health bar of Roy Mustang immediately killed Zazan, and this is just how lethal Jaden can be in the right circumstance. Mariel's going to go again with a Mind Crusher, and this fight is over before it starts. Kefka, I don't know, man. Do you have a chance in the world? He's going to go for the Limit Break. Dance of the Mad. Does this catch Jaden in the back? If it does, maybe he has a chance. It certainly does. It confuses the Mariel, kills the Jaden. Kefka, I believe, still has re-raise online, but Crush Accessory Plus removes re-raise, which means Delita says, nothing to worry about. We're immediately heading into a Game 3 after a very quick turnaround and good response by Sandrooster. Let's go. Third and final game between these two teams, and Sandrooster is using a team that I don't know if it has lost yet. It is incredibly terrifying. These double strike units, but the Phoebe haste and quicken onto Edward has been lethal all season. He's going to pop Automail's Crux on the first turn with Show Me Your Power coming out from the Kefka, getting his own AoE resist up, as well as some nice buffs for the rest of the team. Indomitable Stance coming out from Mirel, so she's got Courage online. Going to have to kill her twice. Roy Mustang with the Steady Summer Flower just like last time. Getting that status nullifications is really important based on that first fight. And Phoebe's going to start channeling a spell. I imagine this is a haste. It could be a quicken. We'll see how the timing works out. I imagine it is haste, though. No, it is a quicken. Here comes Edward. So it's saying, hey, we don't need the haste. We just need to use quicken instead. Momentum with King Bradley TMR. That's the haste I was talking about. And looking at the turn order here, I just can't believe it comes out from Kefka. He's got the re-raise. Urel is going to get a chance to deal some damage, though. And this is going to be the Limit Break. Fury of the Forest, the 1000 Punch Girl. How much damage does she do? 9834 is quite a bit onto the Zazan, but his health bar is massive for such a low-cost unit. Steady Summer Flower being refreshed again by Roy Mustang, interestingly enough, so he doesn't have much else to do here. Phoebe with an enhanced range on her Quicken. Oh boy, this is going to be lethal. Wall Breaker's going to kill the Zazan. This Quicken is going to go off immediately. Edward's going to get 2 turns in a row. This is going to be so brutal for MaechenX. Here comes Edward. I imagine Adamantine Pillar. It is the double unit attack, which does so much damage to Kefka, who normally has tons of AoE resist, but it gets around that. It's going to drop the Roy. Kefka's going to come back and has a chance, but he's channeling a spell. He's not going for his Limit Break, and honestly, I think that would have been the only opportunity to win this hyper reactivity, so he dodges the Urel. So maybe if he can get enough reflexes, he has a chance. That is a ton of damage. Honestly, looking at the turn order, if he gets 1 reflex on Edward, he might have a chance. If he reflexes this, he could win, but he does not. Adamantine Pillar comes through. It finds the kill onto Kefka, and Sandrooster keeps his winning streak alive and staying at the top of the standings. GG's. All right, guys, with 8 weeks over and done with, this is how the Leonis standings look. It's pretty insane. We have Sandrooster, coach of Unicorn Gunfight, with 21 points. Zhalk of Boco Buddies with 21 as well. And as you guys will know, I put some things over to the right side here. I do realize that my head is blocking this part. I will remove my face in just a moment when I talk about this. But I basically wanted to show in detail what seeds somebody has clinched. So as you can see, Sandrooster and Zhalk have clinched a top 2 position with 1 week remaining. Sandrooster obviously has the head-to-head, so if he wins next week, he has the first seed. Zhalk would have to win more games than Sandrooster wins next week to jump him in the first spot, but he is guaranteed top 2, which is fantastic. MaechenX of the Shoometal Alchemists has clinched a top 4 position. So he will be guaranteed top 4. If he wins, he's top 3, which means he avoids the play-in round, which is one extra series to have to play in. So I know he is going to try and win next week to try and avoid that. King Delita of the Arknights clinches his first ever playoff spot. Last year, he, I believe, finished 8th in our Rundall division. So a massive glow up, massive upgrade for King Delita. So huge shout out to him. Awesome guy. Congratulations to him for making the playoffs. But I know he wants to try and avoid the play-in round also. So winning next week with MaechenX losing, he could potentially jump up to the 3rd place. Now, here's when things get really interesting. JAYBLACK of Chronic Fatigue with 13 points, Highwind of Tears for Spears with 13, and JohnnyB of Disposable Heroes with 12. Now, the way this works, JAYBLACK, as you can see, is -1. Highwind is even in his plus or minus, so Highwind technically has the better end of that. However, JAYBLACK beat Highwind head-to-head all the way back in week 1 of this season, so that week 1 matchup might end up being a big deal. So that's interesting. And then JohnnyB, with his series win this week, actually kept his playoff hopes alive. He's been kind of near the bottom of the division for a good chunk. And over the last 5 weeks, I think he's won 3 of them and took a mitigated loss. So he's been way up on the come up the last 5 weeks. The first 4 weeks were rough. He's been doing a lot better, and he has playoff chances going into the last 2 weeks. So AllSmokedUp of the Trap Queens with 10 points, Willie Goats of the Corpse Brigade with 8, and Taiyo of Fire Force with 5 will all be eliminated from playoff contention. If they want to play in the toilet bowl, though, they will do so. Now, here's when I take my mug off the screen so that you can see what I'm talking about. And I put right here so that you guys can see who plays who in the final week. And I wanted to do this just so that it better explains the possible tiebreaker scenarios and stuff like this. Just so that people can understand, right? So Sandrooster plays JohnnyB. So if Sandrooster wins, he claims the 1st seed. JohnnyB, in order to make the playoffs, has to beat Sandrooster. Only one team, which is Highwind, has managed to do that all season. So he has his work cut out for him. But if he can manage to beat Sandrooster, his playoff chances are not too bad. Zhalk versus MaechenX. This is a banger of a series. Zhalk trying to still have a chance at 1st seed. MaechenX, if he wins, is top 3, but if he loses, King Delita could potentially jump him, which is a very interesting series. That's series number 3. King Delita, again, if he wins, has a chance for top 3 if Machen loses. Otherwise, he will be 4th. JAYBLACK plays against him, who is competing for a top 5 spot. So JAYBLACK, even though he's in the playoffs right now, does not have an easy matchup. He goes against King Delita. Highwind versus Willie Goats, so he plays Willie Goats. He might be in 9th place, but Willie's a very good player, very creative player. That will not be an easy matchup. And last but not least, we have AllSmokedUp versus Taiyo. I expect some crazy shenanigans in that series. I think it should be entertaining, even though it doesn't have playoff implications. It should be very interesting to see. JohnnyB and JAYBLACK have a couple of really tough matchups coming up. King Delita versus JAYBLACK is really interesting. Highwind, can he manage to beat Willie Goats and somehow jump JAYBLACK? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens here, guys. Obviously, the top 2 are pretty safe right where they are. But after this, it should be pretty interesting. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I enjoyed casting it and speaking about it and stuff like that. Going into the last week, it should be really entertaining. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.